Why invent something new, which may or may not work, when you've got a blueprint that actually worked very well? How do we get young people off benefits into work? 0345 6060 973, text 84850. Louise, a new caller in Radlett. Louise, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good. Thank you. Hi, Ali. Hi.
What would you like to say, Louise?
Well, a couple of things, really. Firstly, I was severely dyslexic at school, didn't get discouraged till I was 16, and I left school with one CSE, that's how old I am, one O-level. But I went into the Marks and Spencer's youth training scheme, and I then went on to their management scheme, but I went and got a business degree whilst I was at Marks and Spencer's.
Yep.
And I wanted to be a journalist, which sounds ridiculous, obviously, being dyslexic, but I went on to work for the BBC for 25 years.
Fantastic.
And the reason I tell this story is because I have also now set up something called Work Ready Collective, which is to bridge the gap from kids leaving education and understanding what it's like to go into the world of work. We're very new. We've really just started off in the last 6 months. But because we are seeing a real lack of hope for kids out there right now. A lot of this is being done outside of London, actually, at the moment. And I never really understood why they got rid of the YTS scheme, because I was able to get on my feet. I was able to become independent. For the first time ever, I actually understood things that I didn't understand at school. I understood business. I understood how things worked, and I felt like I'd found my place in the world. And I find it's just ridiculous. And to get your point that you said about 1,000 children out of a million.
Yeah. Louise, look, let's be clear about this. I don't want to be a party pooper, generally, right? Genuinely, I don't, because this is a massive issue, and the government is trying to do something. But come on, if it's 1,000 over 6 months, I mean, one does think, really? We're ploughing in money, 820 million into this thing, and it's got to be more than that. I'm sure it will be in time, but it just seems very, very lax. Louise, tell me something. I'm fascinated by the fact that you've set up this Work Ready Collective.
Yeah.
Just explain why. Why is there a gap between people leaving school and being ready for the world of work? Please explain.
Well, I think that at the moment there's just such a huge divide between what is being taught in education. We're in the middle of a major industrial revolution.
Yes.
We've got a system at school that's 200 years old, Ali, and we're preparing children for a 200-year-old system for a world of work that we don't yet know. And I teach this, and the reality is that most children don't leave with the life skills, and that's nothing to do with a fault of education, because they do a fantastic job. And believe me, I've been a governor of a school for 6 years. It's an incredibly hard, difficult, nightmare job. So nothing taking away from education, but we are inundated with inquiries. We've been going 6 months. And we are actually inundated from the prison services, from the refugee services and charities. We're inundated from universities. We've been running pilots at Teesside University. We're talking to Hartlepool, Durham. I mean, it's incredible to me that with not £1 spent on advertising, that we are, my colleague and I, Claire Preston and I, are absolutely inundated.
This is showing that there's a fundamental structural problem with actually preparing people for the world of work. That's what it's telling me, Louise, based on what you're saying.
Well, there really is. And I think what we need more of when you talk about, why only 1,000 children into youth training schemes?
Yes.
I think a lot of companies have got to get behind this. We're trying to get them to be work-ready companies, people that will have a kite badge that will say, like Marks and Spencer's or Google or whoever, that might say, we are a work-ready company, because they recognise that you've done a 3-month programme of becoming work-ready, which is paid for, hopefully, out of the budgets of the education world, or sponsored by a major company. That's what our utopia would be. But at the end of the day, if we can't do that, then we should go back to organisations like Marks and Spencer's and Tesco or whoever getting behind the youth training scheme, because we'd have a lot more kids having an opportunity now to get into work. But the other side of it is, with AI, which we haven't really discussed, the problem with AI, you've got factories in China that are going dark, and what that means for people who don't know, it means that they're going robotic.
Well,
this is, the challenge that the companies have got to offer people like me when I was 16 aren't there, because the jobs aren't there.
I think, on the jobs not being there, Louise, just on that particular point before I let you go, the number of job adverts has dropped from just over 1 million in April 2019 to 863,000 this year, a 13.7% fall, whilst graduate jobs have declined 67%, from 45,000 to 15,000. I mean, 15,000 graduate jobs is nothing. I mean, all these people coming out of university saddled with debt, right? Have been given this whole mantra of you put your head down, you work hard, you'll get on. They're not getting on. They're not being able to get on the ladder. It's a nightmare. Louise, very, very good to speak to you, and good luck with all the work you're doing with the Work Ready Collective. Thank you.